And welcome back, everyone, to Lantern Corps. I was about to say who would win, but that's something different entirely. And I'm not in the, I just not on the screen at the moment. And that's fine. Uh, so from Kid Vid Zone, we had the question: what is Sidney Prescott from the Scream franchise's Lantern Corps, if any? And I mean, actually, it's very apt that I got to this one because we only had the trailer for the newest one dropped last week. Sydney's coming back. I was saying Nev Campbell. That is Nev Campbell, right? Why am I thinking that's not Nev Campbell? Nev Campbell? Nev Campbell. Nev Campbell, Nev Campbell, Nev Campbell, Nev Campbell. Yes, that is Nev Campbell. By the way, I never was a big Sidney Prescott. Like, I didn't, in terms of like Final Girls, I never really crushed on Sidney that much. Nev Campbell has aged really well. Like Nev Campbell, like right. I'll tell you right now, I think she's far more attractive now. Granted, I'm turning 30. I'm a guy in his mid 30s, so a 52-year-old woman's probably actually more attractive than me than a 20-something-year-old woman. But I don't know. I think she literally she got more beautiful in age. Nev Campbell's gorgeous in my opinion. Anyway, I digress. Sydney kind of falls into a final girl problem, especially when you bring her back into multiple movies. There's nothing on the emotional spectrum, even with some of the other ones I could reference right now, which I will not reference right now. I've actually got to now with things like I think words here with things like the Absolute Universe. I actually do have to remake this entire like grid I have here. Maybe I should actually maybe I should actually make it a true enclosed box of just Lantern Corps. But yeah, even with the Absolute Universe and the inversions on a lot of things, there's not a lot of options here. Let's just go by the ones I have here. And I'm gonna go on from right side of the screen to the left side. So Sorrow to Will, and we'll talk about it from there. Sorrow, she certainly felt like despair, but not the type of sorrow or apathy that you would need to feel from scenarios like this. She's not a gold lantern either, certainly not perpetually happy all her life. Does she feel shame? That's a good one. See, I was under the apprehension when I started doing this that she wasn't a lantern of shame, but because that's what the ultraviolet in essence are. They're lanterns of shame. Negative emotions, but shame specifically. That's actually a good question. I think there's points where she's ashamed, like she couldn't say so to me, but I don't think she lives with shame. I think she lives more with fear of Ghostface coming back, which again he's come back. Definitely not a lantern of life, despite being a mother. Like, let me put it this way: if you have brought life into this world, I think you are a better qualifier for a White Lantern ring than someone who hasn't. But that alone does not make you a qualifier. She's not a Black Lantern. She is not dead, she's taken life, but she's not an embodiment of death, nor does she worship death. I don't really see her as an embodiment of hope either. She certainly has probably had faith that things would be fine, faith that her world would, faith that Ghostface wouldn't come back. People have kind of put faith in her, but if there's an argument to be made, she's a Blue Lantern. It's a very loose argument, not an impossible one, but not a very sound argument. And then of course there is the Lanterns of Avarice. She is certainly not an Orange Lantern, not even close. Lantern of Compassion, they look for people without compassion, so that doesn't work. Lantern of Love? Unfortunately, no. I don't. She clearly has a daughter she loves in the most recent movie, but I don't think what she's doing is out of love. It's out of self-preservation and survival. But here's the thing. So fear also. No one's afraid of Sydney. That doesn't work. But my initial thought was, because of the whole final girl thing, Will is your most likely candidate. She has to overcome great fear. She continues to have to overcome great fear every movie she's in. And she has the willpower to step over it, as it were. Step over the gods. But there is, I didn't think about this, there is at least an argument. I think I don't know how strong of an argument, that maybe rage could work. It's a very mild version, like she's so sick and tired of all of this that I think maybe you can make that argument that rage could work. There is also, and again, I got to redo actually the whole thing now we got the Absolute Universe. There is also the idea of the Red Lanterns in the Absolute Universe who don't get their power from rage, but restraint, holding back that rage, keeping that rage contained. That could work a little bit better in Cindy's favor. But here's the thing, she doesn't go throughout her entire life angry. In fact, for the most part, once we got to like the newest, like the most recent remake, or reboot. What was it, Scream 5 or whatever it was? I think this is the 7th one, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it was 5. Up until then, as far as we know, she was living a perfectly normal life. She wasn't, like, the memory of Ghostface is always there, and what she had to be put through. But I don't know if that's like harboring rage, really. So, and we know she even thinks about, she thinks daily, constantly about him. So, about Ghostface and what happened to her. So, I don't know if we could even give her the absolute version of the Red Lanterns. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below on that. Right now, I'm going to stick with green because of the whole final girl trope, and most final girls probably are Green Lanterns, to be honest. At least if we have to choose one of them. Many of them probably don't actually have the will or the ability to have fear or even, whatever one of these other emotions to really qualify, unless it's rage, because they're just like totally on like a adrenaline high of survival and anger. So I'd probably go Will for Sydney, but I think there's a loose argument to be made for something like Hope, and maybe even a loose argument for the absolute version of Red. This, though, is just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.